You can't underestimate demand from consumers. People want relief, and they want quick relief so badly that it's almost difficult not to provide it for them.
Heartburn can't kill you, but heart disease certainly can. And in the late 90s, a new class of drug came on stream that would give its makers the chance to sell us the biggest wonder cure to date. They were called statins.
Now, new machines like this make it far easier to find people with very high cholesterol levels. And once they're found, there is a new drug that is from America and only available there, which could revolutionize their treatment.
Statins could be used for the treatment of heart disease by reducing one of the risk factors that contribute to it, high cholesterol.
Now, this drug could help those people by reducing the liver's ability to make cholesterol.
In 2014, 8 million people in Britain alone take a statin every day. Only around a third of them have suffered from the condition that statins were invented to target, heart disease. But we can't get enough of them, because cholesterol has become a national obsession.
So you just feel a sharp scratch on the finger.
At specialised cardiac screening events like this and at the GP, more of us now get checked for high cholesterol than ever before. Is cholesterol something that people worry about?
Yes, I think it is a concern for people, and what we do actually see at the screenings each day is that we are able to identify people that have maybe a higher level of cholesterol.
I think I had my cholesterol level done in sort of October. Well, there's quite a lot of heart disease in my family.
Do you feel well in yourself? I mean, you look like a healthy chap.
Yes, I feel well in myself, but never mind feeling well. You don't know what's wrong inside.
I'd rather find out now. Yeah. I can go home and do something about it than not find out.
High cholesterol is actually just one of many factors that can lead to heart disease or stroke. But today, many of us act like it's the only one that counts. And a typical doctor's recommendation to treat it with statins seems pretty sensible. But is it? Dr. Kailash Chand is Deputy Chair of the British Medical Association and a GP with over 30 years' experience. His opinion as a GP is that millions of people have been led to feel anxious about cholesterol, and statins are being unnecessarily overprescribed.
That fear kind of mentality when comes in, the easiest possible solution is go and ask doctor that measure my cholesterol. If my cholesterol is high, I need something doing about it.
So it's the fear of high cholesterol and what that might do, which is actually propelling people to take the drug rather than actually the actuality of them being seriously at risk.
Yeah, absolutely. Putting them on statin tablets, I think in my view, is negligence.
Dr. Chand's view may be controversial, but one thing's certain. We're obsessed with statins and cholesterol. Where did that come from? To find out, I'm going to meet the man who launched the best-selling drug of all time. In 1999, Bob Ehrlich was in charge of the consumer marketing campaign for a powerful new statin called Lipitor. With other statins already on the market, he needed a way to help his product stand out from the crowd. But the results of clinical trials that he could use to market Lipitor were still years away.
It's an interesting problem we had, which was we couldn't say Lipitor prevents heart attacks. So we decided to focus on what we could focus on, which was we're the best at lowering cholesterol. And we went out and advertised that.
So what was different about the Lipitor campaign from the other campaigns that were being run by the other companies?
Well, the thinking was cholesterol is one of the things that consumers can understand, react to, try to lower. The more consumers know about a condition, the more educated they are, the more they're likely to take action.
They caught the public's imagination with an easy-to-understand campaign that targeted their new selling point, cholesterol.
Consumers remember basically one thing, and one thing only. You can't tell them a lot. They're not that interested. So you've got to hit them with what's the most important thing that they'll remember.
It was a simple message the company would stick to for years. Know your number. And it was about to reach a vastly wider audience.
The government came out today with new and aggressive guidelines for treating millions of Americans at risk for heart disease.
Exercise, weight loss, and a
Eligibility for statin treatment in America at the time was determined by a committee of the National Institute of Health. This committee now lowered the threshold at which cholesterol was considered too high.
do that. Exercise and diet can help. If there was a motto for the new guidelines just published today, it might be something like, how low can you go?
Overnight, the number of people apparently at risk from high cholesterol rose from 13 million to 36 million.
The result for the drugs industry was clear, wasn't it? It was ka-ching.
Well, if the numbers trebled, I think that was a decision that the healthcare experts made. The more people that take statins, the better off society will be.
Lipitor's manufacturer, Pfizer, had financial ties to 6 of the 7 committee members who made the decision to lower the cholesterol threshold. In Europe, including Britain, cholesterol guidelines were also soon being lowered, but the drugs companies needed a different tactic to reach consumers. Here, direct advertising of drugs is banned, so they worked with patient groups and charities to get their message out. Broadcast in France and Canada, this hard-hitting public awareness film tells in reverse the tale of what could happen if we don't get checked. It was sponsored by the Lipid Nurse Network and Canadian Diabetes Association, but it was paid for by Pfizer.
More than 1 in 500 of the population has a specific genetic defect, which doubles the cholesterol levels in the blood.
In Britain, cholesterol charity Heart UK offered the public advice about high cholesterol with a highly emotive campaign.
I'm one of those 500, and I didn't realise until it was almost too late.
Among their various commercial partners was Pfizer.
Heart UK is passionate about preventing premature deaths caused by high cholesterol, and also campaign to improve the detection and treatment of high cholesterol conditions.
GPs faced more and more patients anxious about their cholesterol. And in 2004, the government gave them a further incentive to prescribe statins.
Family doctors have voted to accept a new NHS contract.
At its heart was a new set of performance indicators that would tie surgery budgets to results.
For doctors, a promise of better pay and hours. But of course, they have to give something in return. They'll have to meet quality targets.
GPs were now required to screen for and treat cholesterol. But some in the medical establishment believe that we are too eager to prescribe statins.
So it wasn't just the public who bought into this idea that cholesterol was this scary thing. Government, GPs, the medical establishment, everyone bought into this idea.
Yes, you see, GP had to do it. GP had no choice but to bring the cholesterol down. So how do you bring the cholesterol down? Rather than at that stage, in my view, going for lifestyle changes, going for exercise, easiest way found was put them on statins. What we've done is then we overdiagnose and overtreat.
Pfizer told us statins have significantly benefited patients and public health by helping to treat cardiovascular disease. And it is a widely held, established view within the medical community that treating patients to target cholesterol levels reduces the risk of cardiovascular events. When working with patient organisations, we always ensure that they are not dependent on any funding we provide and their independence is not compromised. Pfizer also told us that our assumptions misrepresent the responsible approaches to marketing taken by the pharmaceutical industry. In England alone, the NHS now spends over £250 million every year on statins. They are the most prescribed drugs in the country. Henry Gadsden had a vision of selling to everyone, and thanks to the fear of high cholesterol, that vision was closer than ever before. But there was still a limit to the number of people they could sell their cures to, until they realised that no one is immune from risk.
The alluring prospect of a limitless market beckoned for industries that could capitalise on the mere risk of getting ill. All they had to do was play on our desire to stay well and our fear of the alternative.